Hi everyone, hope you're keeping well. It's the Black Shadow here. Hope you're very much enjoying your summers. It is most certainly the summer here. I can officially confirm that. It has been very warm the past week or so. But yeah, definitely welcome back to the channel. It is time for another one of these big smorgasbords of huge updates, of getting catching up over the past couple of months in the world of Dune Imperium and everything that's kind of going on around it as well. It's certainly been pretty busy, mainly on the digital side of the Dune Digital app, which is going to be the main focus of our coverage of the news here in this video. But we've got plenty more to look at as well. We've got Dune Uprising, the release of the Community Mod. We've got content coming out from a variety of different creators. And then we've got a pretty significant update regarding ourselves here in Assets and myself as well as to things we're looking to do for the rest of the year. We'll get to that, don't worry. So first up, let's talk about Dune Imperium Digital then, and the news that, if you aren't aware, about 2-3 weeks or so ago now, Immortality came out for the app. Immortality is the second expansion that was released for Dune Imperium back in the winter of 2022, he wants to say off the top of his head. But overall, the release has been really good, actually. Really impressed. Been a very smooth rollout. There was always going to be a couple of bugs here and there, and it was probably always going to involve the likes of Gola and Usurp doing weird things of how they interact with cards and effects and such. It was always going to be the way. But outside of that, there's not been many issues whatsoever to report. And it's been super cool as well, folks having the opportunity to kind of play around and experience it. There's been definitely quite a few folks that we've done on streams, on the channel, and other folks who actually don't really know Immortality at all. So it's been cool to kind of introduce Immortality to folks. Certainly those that have come in to Dune Imperium since Uprising has been released and have mainly focused on that and kind of flitted from back to the old version of the game from time to time. But definitely folks kind of getting used to like the research, the graft mechanics, that sort of thing. There is a lot of cool stuff in Immortality, so it's been really cool to kind of see some folks getting used to seeing this stuff for the first time. Now, there has been a lot of interesting news coming out of the digital app over the past couple of weeks or so as well. First off, I know I'm not being sponsored, pinky promise, but Dune Digital are actually doing a sale on Steam at the moment for the Steam Summer Sale. You can get hold of a variety of their bits and pieces games, and currently get 25% off Dune Imperium Digital and even 10% off the Rise of X DLC. Again, not being sponsored, pinky promise, but I do definitely encourage giving it a spin. I know there's been a lot of folks playing sort of Immo on Tabletop Simulator for quite a while. And I remember that for a lot of those folks, when the app first came out, the thing that was holding off them kind of getting into digital is because it only had the base game, for example. And certainly if you're used to playing Imperium with all of its expansions, going back to playing just the base game is a little bit weird and alien for them, and it can come across a bit dry. I think the game was still fine. We still had a lot of fun doing streams. Certainly when we did our opening stream for Dune Imperium Digital coming out, it was one of the biggest viewed streams we've ever had on this channel. So there's definitely a lot of interest in regards to that. But if you have been kind of hesitant because of that, and you've been waiting for the content to come out, well, now you go. You've got all the reason to go for it, and even got some discounts for you. Definitely do look to go and enjoy that. But as far as Immortality as well, there has been a lot of kind of chat and such going on in regards to kind of what happens now with Dune Imperium. Starting with the digital app, one of the big questions came out of this was regarding the ranked app, the ranked system, I should say. And we spent a fair amount of time talking about, in the last video, what would rank look like? Obviously, a lot of folks were interested in, is it going to be X Immortality, both expansions combined? I did personally have a couple of worries that double paywalling the feature might be a bit too restrictive, and there's going to be some concerns about that. But to be honest, all options are a bit awkward. If you just make it X still, Immo's kind of short change. If you make it just Immo, then those who bought X to play ranked are like, oh, I've got to buy another DLC to do it, though they'd have to for X Immo anyways. It's kind of a weird spot. But we have confirmation now, courtesy of Deez, another content creator who went on to Direwolf's Discord server, and posing the question as to what exactly was going on. We finally got an answer here from Scarlatch, that is Scott, CEO of Direwolf Digital, confirming that it will be X Immortality that is going to be the next ranked mode. Personally, I'm a little surprised. Not unwelcome, by any stretch of imagination. I got no personal issues with it being XMO. I'm just obviously worried and slightly concerned about, is there going to be the player base to support it? Maybe they've got some numbers in the back that suggest it will be. Definitely when it came in regards to playing in the streams we've done for XMO, just in general lobbies, they definitely existed. People were definitely playing, and so maybe they think that there is enough appetite to actually do this the rank system. We're not really going to know until we try, realistically. So if they're confident that they can do this and make this work, then I'm all for trying to support that, definitely. But we'll have to see how things play out in regards to it. It does mean, but yeah, if you are interested in doing the rank system, you're going to have to fork out another $10, guys, and you're going to have to do it with Immortality. So that's just the way that's going to be. No confirmation if it's going to be play to 11. Which is what we're very much used to in competitions, playing to 11. It's not a standard feature as such. It is an optional variant if you go towards the back of the Immortality rules book. It talks about that. Basically, if you're a 4-player, take off the starting victory point and play to 10, even though its implementation on the digital app has been actually play to 11, which is a bit confusing to look at sometimes. It just kind of is what it is. So, but yeah, so that will be happening in the next few days or so. I think the ranked current season has got about another week or so on it, or something like that. We'll have to see how the exact dates play out. But yeah, XMO coming for ranked system. Should be interesting. Couple of things I want to make a note of before we move on. For those that have been wanting to play this on like iOS, Android, that sort of thing, I do believe Immortality is now starting to see release onto those various platforms, onto console as well, I believe, as well. It's taken a little while to get that done, perhaps a little bit longer than people would have liked, but it is starting to make that process now. So if you do play in those devices and you haven't checked the past couple of days, I encourage you to do so. Something else that also came up, which is something that I was kind of waiting for more information of a little bit before I did this video. I was going to do this a couple of weeks or so ago. And that is regarding what you see here. Post from Scott a couple of weeks or so ago, talking about the fact that we've enabled the ability to observe friend games this evening. Yes. There is finally the tests and early stages of Spectator modes in the digital app. This is the first time that it has been available, and it allows you to, if you're friends with someone, basically go into a lobby and watch the game from that person's perspective. Super cool that it's finally in. It is something that we have been kind of wanting and requesting for a variety of reasons on this channel for a little while now, and it's super cool that they've managed to get this implemented. I haven't actually really had much chance to try it myself, but I know that other people have been doing it like on streams of games, other folks, and while it's not 100% perfect, it means you still only see as regards to that person only. It's not like when you like table sim, you're in the black seat, you get to see everyone. That would be that would take some coding, admittedly, to get that to work with the app and how that does it. But it's definitely a step in the right direction. And certainly in regards to us as a channel that has hosted a competition from time to time, this is definitely very positive news for us. One of the things that had been restricting us a little bit on kind of pushing with doing more stuff with digital is the fact that unless you're playing in the game, you kind of can't see anything. Bit of a problem, so this definitely is again a step in the right direction and is something that is of great interest to us. So thanks to the guys for getting that up and running, and hopefully over the course of the following weeks and months we can get it fleshed out a little bit more, and hey, maybe there's a way we can get to see all the seats. That'd be super cool. Spinning off from Dune Digital takes me to more of the content that's starting to come across the board from a variety of different creators for digital, which is super awesome to see. The main focus of this is a showcase match that got played between myself, Sangluten, Diz, and Manta about a week or so ago. We all posted our POVs on our various channels. Spoiler alert here. Skip forward about 10 seconds if you don't want to hear it. You were warned. Diz annoyingly going 2-0 in these contests now, which is really annoying. Would like to actually beat him in one of these. Eventually, he's got to drop the crown. We'll see how that goes. However, it's super cool to see like other content creators, streaming this on Twitch, on YouTube, and definitely something that we're looking to try and get involved with a bit more. Certainly as we get into the summer, certainly into the autumn as well. I was hoping to have this playing live, but however, if I do it, my PC gets very loud and very angry because it is darn hot in here. It's suffering as much as I am, so unfortunately, none of that is the way it kind of goes. But yeah, it's been cool to get involved with these, and hopefully we can do more. Certainly when Bludgeon comes back from his summer stay away from where he resides, we'll be looking maybe to get some content in regards to with more stuff with him. That'd be super cool. And certainly pushing towards the autumn and the winter, we have some plans on the channel. Again, we'll get to that. But yeah, it's super awesome to see, a lot of folks kind of jump onto this and kind of filling little bits of voids here and there. Ourselves here on the channel, obviously trying to get stuff done where we can. It has been a little bit tricky, personally speaking, in regards to timing and scheduling. I probably also need to realistically upgrade my camera at this point. I've had this camera for quite a few years, and it could do with a touch-up. I think I know the software and hardware I'll be getting hold of to do it a bit more properly. It's just getting around to it is a little bit tricky, but anyways. But yeah, definitely, when we get involved in streams in this, I'll try and give you some content ahead of times as well. Also, I'll make a note of him here just for the record, but Hidden Assets partner CJFM, who took a little bit of a breakaway, admittedly, from Dune Imperium over the course of the winter and spring. He's had a lot of stuff going on he's had to deal with. He's been doing some projects on the side as well, which is taking some of his time. He's definitely really excited that Immortality is back out, and with any hopes he might be able to find some time to play a game or two as well on the channel. It'll be super cool if he does. We'll be sure to let you know so you can pop back in and tell him we said hi. So about everything I could think of for Dune Imperium Digital. So let's move on to Uprising, the more recent release for the series. There's definitely been some few updates on this in regards to the past few weeks, and the most important thing is going to be the release of the community versions of the game. That sort of released about 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. Ever since Bloodlines came out, there has been definitely a lot of activity for Uprising with Total Simulator, with the more competitive scene of the game. It's been very well received. There's a lot of complexity to it, that's for darn sure. There's a heck of a lot going on, but there has been some interest in kind of trying to play around with it, much like with Immo before it on Total Simulator, if you're aware of that. That saw a community version of the game, I guess we'll call it, which saw a lot of tweaks to the actual cards and the leaders and such to kind of balance everything a little bit more. This has been a little bit of a different spin. This has been looking to kind of try and incorporate some elements of previous games and expansions and some past leaders into the world of Uprising and Bloodlines, and that has come across now in the community balance version that is now available. It doesn't change what cards do. It doesn't change what leaders does or any actual physical mechanics, but what it has done is take out some of the cards in Uprising that haven't been particularly well received, maybe because they're not particularly interesting or because they're kind of busted. Guild Spy, basically, and have been replaced by cards of a similar sort of style from maybe previous versions of the game in order to kind of, have more interest in it, have things but more interactive, and then obviously looking to bring in some of the old leaders as well into the world of Uprising Bloodlines as it is, and have them banding about. It's been an interesting journey. It's one I've kind of been spectating from, largely from the side. I will admit, over the past couple months, I haven't really played Bloodlines a whole lot. I've taken a bit of a break from it, from something that I'll be talking about very shortly after this, because I needed a little bit of time away. And obviously, I was aware with Immortality was going to be on its way with Dune Digital, so it was a good time to kind of focus on stuff like that. But yeah, there's been a lot of feedback that's been taken for the mod, and I think the idea behind this is it's going to continue to kind of flux and change a little bit and making tweaks there. But one thing that has definitely been a feature of Uprising, so since Bloodlines came out, is like the strength of High Council. Uprising already looked to make High Council stronger compared to, say, Swordmaster. Even in its base iteration, Swordmaster having a discount off the first person gets it. But certainly with Bloodlines and the way that the techs are now available from Ix up here, and the fact that you get discounts, you get High Council, means that going High Council really early has a absolute bucket ton of benefits. Sorry about that, my PC getting angry with me again. It is very warm in here. I just put down 400 quid for a portable AC unit. It helps a heck of a lot, but having that running it's a bit loud sometimes. It's the way it goes. But yeah, definitely it's very interesting to see this in existence, and it's something I need to get my teeth into a bit more properly. Obviously, I did about a couple months or so ago my video series of the top 5, talking about Bloodlines, looking at all the leaders that introduced at that, and kind of basic generals and ideas and tactics to get involved in that. Went really well. Huge thanks to everyone that watched those. I've had plenty of feedback. Definitely, folks have found it really useful, which is good to know. It's good to know that the stuff about is of use to people sometimes. I think especially for me as well, I have talked about before, slight tangent here, this will be brief, but I have talked about before the fact that Uprising is not my strongest format of this game. I don't think necessarily means that I'm like bad at it, but definitely compared to say like Immo, I definitely feel much more comfortable in that environment. I feel a lot more kind of used to the cadence and how that kind of works, and definitely just on a general results basis, I've got a better rate with Immo than I always have done with Uprising. And Bloodlines certainly has upped the complexity of the game and all the stuff going on, which is challenging. And certainly as a content creator, it's very difficult as well. There is an expectation from folks like us to be really skilled at all the versions of the game, but Uprising, Bloodlines, and then Immo are just so completely different to each other, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and kind of and skill and determination to get really good at one of these formats. So trying to get really good at both formats is really, really hard, and requires a huge amount of investment, which is just difficult for me to commit to at the moment. So that's kind of why you sort of see me somewhere between one and the other, and things I don't quite get right. That's just kind of the way it's going to be. But yeah, definitely give this a spin. I do recommend it. It's currently available over on a Hidden Asset. I believe there is a Steam Workshop implementation of this mod actually coming out fairly soon. That's what I've heard. I don't know that 100% for sure, but that's the word going around, which will definitely help a little more, kind of like people trying to locate this. Currently, it's just done as a general save. You have to import it yourself, put it in your files. It's a bit of a pain, truth be told. But yeah, that's the idea. Give it a spin. Give them feedback. It's still in flux, still being changed. But the one thing definitely that was of note is the fact that they aren't looking to make any physical change to how cards and such work, and like the leaders, to not adjust them. You can adjust the quantity of how your deck's comprised, but they don't want to change, say, like make Guild Spy not have the spy require, stuff like that. Either it works as it says, or it's not in the game. And the idea is to have it kind of be more implementation, have more implementation, and have more physical environments. Whereas the Immo mod for the rank system was basically just for TTS. The idea is this: you could take this and do this in person with your friends, or say at big social events. And that takes us, maybe somewhat crudely, to the next topic on this video, and that is there was another Mr. Beast Invitational for Dune Imperium held. This was at the end of April 2025, and this was the first event to involve Bloodlines, after the first couple have been played with Dune Imperium Uprising. There are a couple of videos currently so far up on Cheeseable's channel. Do encourage you definitely to go and check them out and watch some really good players playing some really good Dune Imperium. And hopefully there are a couple of more coming up as well in further on down the line. It's a bit dependent on kind of how Cheese's schedule works out, and definitely takes a lot of time to put these videos and such together. I will answer a couple of basic questions that I know are going to come up in the comments section. Yes, I was present at the event. And no, I can't talk about anything in any specific detail. I'm not able to do so. But I will say that having been at the event, it was obviously very, very cool. It's great to see some folks that I've met at the previous invitationals. And definitely it was challenging. There's no question about that. Again, saying that Uprising is not my best format. I had played a bit of Bloodlines, about 40-50 games or so of Bloodlines in lead up to the event here, which I definitely needed. Didn't have a great competition. Sometimes you don't. Didn't play the best, I guess, but also I ran so cold. It was brutal. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to be at the event and just see some folks. I think one of the big takeaways I had from it personally, which I can say, is the skill level of some of the guys that were at this event was just off the page. I say like played maybe 40, 50 games of Bloodlines lead up to us. There are folks there that may have done that like in the space of like 2 weeks. Well, honestly, there are some absolute just hardcore grinders there, and it really showed from some of the folks that got towards the back end of the competition who just were just playing on a completely different level to me. And that would have been probably the case if I played about the same amount of Bloodlines anyways. It's just a format that isn't easy for me and does take a lot of effort. I was glad to have made it there in the first place and just be able to say hi to some guys and enjoy that. But yeah, there was just some... It was kind of brutal. Some of the stuff that I played against and some of the folks I played against were just... I don't know if I was really in their class, being honest. If I ever find my way at another one of these events, I will have to kind of look at how I play these games and lead up to these and kind of like how I try and approach it, because what I tried didn't really work. And it's a shame as well, because the previous couple of events, the first one I didn't play in, and the second one I actually made the quarterfinals, which was super awesome and played pretty well. Had a bit of run here and there, but that's kind of Dune Imperium in a nutshell. So, but yeah. Anyways, do go check out more of these games on Cheesewood's channel when they come up and running. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, if you want to see people far better than me playing Dune Imperium Bloodlines, this is the place to go to. The last thing I want to have a talk about on this video is us here at Hidden Assets, and I guess maybe more specifically regarding myself. I have noted over the past few months or so about the fact that it has been difficult to produce a whole lot of content for the channel. Outside of kind of having a week or so off where I got the whole top 5 series done, and definitely bits and pieces around here and there hasn't been a whole lot, truthfully. And this has been largely due to the fact that I have been stuck on night shifts at my current workplace, and I've been on that for about 6 months or so. And yeah, once it's like 1, 2 in the morning, it's kind of difficult to do live streams. It's kind of difficult to do kind of, watching games or doing commentary, especially if you listen to some of the games that I cast, and you can get quite excited. We'll go with that. And it's just, it's not impossible to do any of that. The good news, first off, is that is now coming basically towards an end now. I have a bit of a running date working with. It's not fully confirmed at this point, but we are within weeks territory before going on to an actual proper human being day schedule, which definitely I will be requiring. And just having that will make things so much easier for doing content. I mean, like even this video I'm doing now, it's like gone 10 o'clock sort of thing. And it's like, I'm probably not even supposed to be doing this at this point. I think I'm past quite hours here. It's the way it goes. But yes, the idea is that once I get onto that schedule, it means that I'll have kind of afternoons available to me dotted about. It means I can do more live streams of Dune Digital. I can spend time doing more top 5 stuff. I can do video game matches and reviews of bits and pieces that I've played. I can do commentaries of competitions. I can do all this stuff that basically has been kind of really hard to find a reasonable time to do it for without completely screwing myself up over the past 6 months. So in that respect, I'm really glad for that, and it will be nice being able to do a bit more content for it, because it's not like, we do the content, like you guys do watch and you do support, and it's really hugely appreciated. But definitely there's a couple of times I feel like I'm kind of like, letting you guys down a little bit occasionally. It's kind of been about my hands, and that's just the way it kind of goes. But yeah, we're within weeks for that now to being able to be playing and recording and just being a bit more proper of a channel. But of course, in regards to being a channel and the content we've done here, obviously it's cool doing, kind of like tournament games and streams such like that is super awesome. But it's not how this channel got its start, was it? And it has been a little while now. We have to go back a fair bit into some podcasts and bits and pieces here. But yeah, it's been about a year since we last held a big kind of like massive competition here on the channel, which is kind of frightening, but it also does kind of make sense. Even with doing the grand finals of the Stoneburner Open kind of in the spring of last year, even finding the time for me to do that was a little bit tricky at the time, and kind of fitting it in with the circumstances that I was in. Now I've got my own place, which super helps. I've got my own front door, which is amazing. It means that I can have better space in order to do this sort of content. But yeah, it's been a while. hasn't it? It has been a long time since we sat down and did one of these, and certainly it's something that I've had to kind of sit back from a little bit in doing a lot of the competition stuff. And I am grateful for those that have kind of filled in the spots over the course of time. It's kind of why, Bludgeon had like the show match. Cheeseball has done like the Muad'Dib melees. You had the Grand Vision Invitational for Dune Digital a couple of months or so ago. That started. And other little events at the side. Sangluten, one of the guys I did the show match with, he's looking to do his own little tournament starting like August or something like that. Do go check that out over on his channel. But I have kind of missed this. And I do feel that as a Dune Imperium content creator, like, when I play the games, it's cool, and I appreciate guys watching it, but I do feel like the best stuff that I've done, and when I'm at my best work, has been watching games and doing commentary and that sort of thing, and that's definitely shown in regards to, obviously with the figures and bits and pieces, stuff like that, and some of the games that we have covered over the course of time for Uprising, for Ixim, and that sort of thing. We have seen some crazy stuff, some absolute wild games. In fact, one of the very first games I ever commentated on properly for this channel was at the start of, I think it was like our first proper first tournament. CJ was playing in it in what was it called? It was back in the Rise of Ix days, I think it was. But he played in the first one. I think we had like a 4-way 11 VP tie. It was the one of the first games I ever did properly for the channel. Just complete wildness. And it is amazing, kind of like the stuff you see, and the games are long enough that there are stories being told amongst them. There are momentum shifts. You're gonna get the occasional Baron blown. You're gonna get the occasional someone just got double taxed who master won the game, stuff like that. But it is fascinating seeing some of this stuff play out in front of your eyes. So, what does it all mean? Someone once told me actually that the only thing for sure in life is that nothing's for sure. And certainly looking back at my past 12 months of my life, the man had a point. However, we are coming back. And one thing that is going to be for sure is that before this year is out, we here at Hidden Assets are going to be going back to what we do best, and that is hosting giant competitions of Dune Imperium with hundreds of people. It is something that I have missed doing. It is something that certainly felt like it gave me kind of more, I don't want to say purpose in the community, but when I think back to, and this is not trying to like inflate my own ego or anything like that, but when I think back to some of the stuff that's happened over the course of time, looking back at like the events that we've held and the people that we've gotten to meet, and heck, even looking at like, the Mr. Beast Invitationals, like one of the reasons that exists is because we did one of the big Rise of Ix competitions, and we did analysis of that, look at the meta, looking at the strategy and that sort of thing, and from that video that we did spawned the nexus of what would become these Mr. Beast Invitational events. It's absolutely crazy and wild that it happens, but it's awesome to know that the work that we've done here on the channel has been the progenitor for a reason that a lot of this stuff exists. And so, yeah, that is the plan. It's going to be a couple of months still. I've got to put together a couple bits and pieces. I need to get on today's. I need to get my schedule sorted. But come the autumn, maybe going towards the winter side of this year, we will be doing another big competition. It'll probably be on Dune Digital, now that we've got Immo, now that we've got the Spectator mode, and now Immo's out. Uprising's probably not going to be too far down the line. It's the place to host these events. And I, for one, have missed being able to bring so many people together in our big competitions, being able to record and cast the games. We've got other content creators around that can record their games, might pitch and do commentary of other games, and we can just have a big, massive community descend upon a Dune Imperium once more for a fancy, fairly decent prize pool and a lot of wild games of Dune Imperium. It has been much missed. I am very, very much looking forward to it. regardless, I'm going to call that here because it is getting really nastily hot in here, and I've got to turn the AC back on, and that's going to completely kill my microphone. So very much for watching and listening. If you haven't already, please do follow the channel here by subscribing. Join onto our Discord as well, especially if you're interested in looking to get involved in these the big competitions that are coming up for the channel. I will be sitting down with my partner, work out the best way for us to deal with that, and maybe we can do some cool stuff on the side. We'll see how that goes. But definitely it is the bread and butter of why we exist as a channel, and it has been simply too long since we last did it. And why not have one more spin of the wheel? I know it's been a while since we've done one of these competitions, but the people are there, the people are playing, the content's there, the expansions are there now. Just got to sit down and make it happen, kids. And I guess if anyone's going to be crazy enough to try and make it happen, it's probably going to be the guy that once played Dune Imperium for 25 hours straight on a live stream. If you've not seen that, by the way, check it out. That was a wild day. Take care of yourselves, everyone. We'll see you all very, very soon.